Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 48480 Southwest Hebo Road here in Grand Ronde, Oregon. We're located at the front of the home. We're right at the front right corner of the house here. Well, the house itself, not including the garage area. Off to the right of the front door, we have a 3-inch PVC cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. We'll zero out the camera counter right here. Here we go. And it looks like it's just a clean out that's PVC. The pipe itself is actually ABS plastic here. Little bit of a belly here. And we might have something coming through the pipe at this point as well. We're gonna take a good look at all this pipe here on the way out. When it's drained, we might have a root intrusion here coming through the top of the pipe. Looks like we've got some debris in the line here. That almost looks like a knockout plate is sitting in the flow line. And I don't see any trees or anything in the immediate area here. Doesn't mean there wasn't one at some point. What's dangling from the top of the pipe there does look eerily like a root intrusion. It's just covered up with a bunch of junk right now, likely due to that. It looks like a knockout plate got shoved down the pipe there. That was what was in the flow line. So it's, you got a possibility there that knockout plate caused a blockage or a partial blockage and caused the debris to get stuck to the top of the pipe. Or it just so happens that there's a root and the knockout plate all in the same spot. So we'll take a closer look at that when the pipe's all drained out. And we'll see if a toilet flush will even move that knockout plate out of there. The nice part about those is they are very, very brittle, and they're easy to break up with an auger if it is truly stuck there and is not going to move. It just transitioned there over to 4-inch PVC pipe. We're hitting kind of a vertical stack here. I think we might have this might be on some type of septic system here. I'm going to try and locate real quick and see where we're at. Alright, so it does appear that it is on some type of septic system here. I don't know if it's a standard septic or a step system. There's a lot of different kinds of them, but if you're standing in the street looking at the front of the house, just to the right of the driveway, there's a big concrete lid. It looks like the lid for the tank, and then right now we're about 5 feet prior to that lid. There's a big 6-inch clean out over there with some cinder blocks around it. And I just opened that up. I can see my camera, and right when you drop into this here, we've got nothing but water, which is all indicative of a septic system. I just find out that, I mentioned a step system there. There are some cities that use step. I would just find out what type of septic system it is exactly. Some of them you have to pump every now and then for the solids. Some of them the water will drain out to the street like a standard sewer line, but the solids stay behind. There's a few different types. So I would just look into that so you know what kind of equipment you're working with here. Well, pipe's all drained out at this point. We're going to go ahead and reel back in here and take a good close look at that possible root intrusion as well as the object that's stuck in the pipe. And we do have some standing water right here. It's very minimal, at least thus far. That is sitting down below the camera lens. We've got less than a 1/4 inch of standing water there. I typically do not see toilet paper collect in lines until you have at least 5 feet of pipe with at least 1 inch of standing water around there, 3/4 to 1 inch. And that's right where I start to see it collect. So that amount of standing water there is not concerning. As long as you're not flushing like big wads of paper towels down the line, it's going to take stuff that will clog anywhere to get hung up there. Alright, so my lens just got gunked up. We're going to clean this up. You can see there's a ton of junk that's built up there in the flow line because of that knockout plate that's sitting in the flow line. So I'm going to go flush the toilet twice. We're going to put the camera back in and see if that thing has moved at all. My guess is it's probably not going to, and it's going to require some drain cleaning to break that thing up. If it's a knockout plate, though, like I said, they're very brittle. An auger or a jetter should be able to break that thing up and get it on out of there. Alright, I just did two toilet flushes one from each bathroom right back to back. Hopefully give us the the best ability to remove that item there from the pipe. What I was just noticing is all that junk that was on my camera lens that gunked it up there just a moment ago. As I reel it out, it actually looks like dirt. And I know that you might not think that there's a difference, or at least it's not or easy to tell the difference between dirt and human waste going down the line, but it does not smell at all, and it looks like dirt. So it's possible we have a breach in the line here that's letting dirt come into the pipe. And that's what we're riding the camera over the top of right now, is that same brown stuff. It does not smell like anything at all. It feels like dirt. So what we're kind of running the camera through right now, we might actually have a breach somewhere in the pipe that's letting dirt come into the line. Unfortunately, if it's underneath all that junk, we're not going to be able to see it. But this joint right here looks like we've got some separation at it. If you look, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at the joint my camera's facing at right now, there is a gap between that piece of pipe there. So it does appear that we've got a breach in the line, and with the brown stuff that's coming out on my camera here, it looks like it's coming into the pipe. So would recommend a spot repair here to correct that. It looks like we might also have a root coming through. It's really hard to tell. There's so much junk collected over that little dangly item there that it's very difficult to discern whether that's roots. Either way, it looks like we've got a breach here in the pipe that needs to be repaired either way. Either someone didn't glue the joint or something like that has occurred here to cause that. Or it might also be a break in the pipe we can't see because it's been gunked up to this point. That will happen in the flow line. You'll get cracks or holes, but you can't see them because there's dirt covering it up. So I'm going to put a marking right here at this particular spot. That should deal with the that backflow, or that not the backflow, but the flapper or knockout plate. It looks like it's moved on its way. We're going to push the camera out here a little ways. See if it made its way down the line here. Now wherever it is, it looks like it's not in the line anymore. Now, I'm going to put some paint markings down on the ground at that particular spot. I do recommend it be corrected. I'm going to try and look at as many of these joints here as I can, make sure they are all looking tight. From time to time you'll get a line that's been installed, and every joint someone's forgot to glue them. They're just dry fit. As far as I can tell, the breach in the pipe looks like it's right here at 6 feet. This clean out, unfortunately, is a directional clean out. It doesn't let me go backwards. There's always a chance you've got some other issue going on prior to the clean out. But most of that dirt and junk starts right in that area where it looks like we've got the separated joint and possibly a root intrusion as well. So I'm going to put a paint marking down right here. I recommend a spot repair to fix this particular area, and ideally get a rescope done just to make sure the repair looks good. Alright, this is right in the driveway area. What I think happened here, we're only at 1 foot 3 inches deep, which is quite shallow. And being that it's in the driveway, I think what's happened, and right about the area where if you were to park your car outside the garage, it's where that would be. And more than likely what's happened is cars parking on top of this have put enough pressure and weight on it that's probably what caused the line or the joint to at least split open like that. That's my guess anyway. I see this fairly commonly in driveways, especially when it's gravel like this. You don't have asphalt supporting everything. And being only a foot deep, that does not surprise me at all that has occurred here. So I've got that marked with a white X. Recommend that be repaired. As best I can tell, it looks like it's just this spot right here where our little dangly is, and we can see an obvious separation in the joint right here. It's possible we've got other stuff going on prior to that. So make sure the repair guy sees the video. There may be more than just that to get cleared out there. If we could clean all the junk out of the pipe, we'd have a better look at it. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about that without that being jetted out of the line or something of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera out of the pipe here. What I would also recommend is that you get this line really, really covered up with gravel. That will help support the weight on top of it if you're going to park cars here. But being a foot deep, there's not a lot you can do about it. I'm sure you could put something like maybe some 2x4s underneath the gravel to give some support over that area. But the line runs right across the whole driveway there. So just keep that in mind when parking and everything. But you can see my paint markings right there on the ground, just in front of the garage. 1 foot 3 inches deep. Recommend a repair. Aside from that, the rest of the pipe we've scoped all appears to be in good shape. Has good flow, although there is some really minor standing water. None of it is significant. Nothing that I'm concerned about there. So get that fixed, and you should be good to go. But you do want to do a rescope if possible. Make sure that repair looks good. There are more repairs than you would think that do not look good after they've been done. So it is worth doing a rescope on it. Aside from that, though, the rest of the pipe is in good shape and functioning properly at this time.